Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Redeemers University. My name is Christina Soname, and I'm so excited at the opportunity to share with you today. So, Redeemers University is kind of like home for me, and I say that because my older brother finished from Redeemers University, and as I look back, I think the only reason my parents didn't let me take the examination to also join him at Redeemers is because they probably thought we would be too busy playing and having fun with each other because we are really close. So, but of course, I did visit him a lot on campus, and those were very pleasant memories for me. I have very pleasant memories from doing that. And yes, and speaking of universities and, school, I graduated from Babcock University, and I remember what it felt like as a final year student, even as a matter of fact, weeks to graduation, where I already knew I was going to finish the first class. And there was counsel coming from everywhere. Now, there was a minimum expectation. Everyone had a suggestion about what my best next step will be. I remember having a lot of questions and just wondering, is this really my best step? Is that really my best step? So even on graduation, I remember my 19-year-old self just in between the festivities, wondering about my future. So I won't be surprised if some of you feel that way right now in this season. You've probably heard a lot of things said about life after school, the job market, entrepreneurship, getting a master's degree, and you probably have a number of options in your hands right now, a number of things you're considering, that you will do straight out of school. Don't worry. It will come together well. I can say that with the benefit of hindsight. And one other thing is, I want to share a few tips with you today. Things that now I know them because I'm able to look back and know that, hey, everything comes together eventually. Of course, with the work and all that. But I'm sharing 4 tips with you today that I know that if you pay attention to them and work on them and apply them, it would really help you on your own journey post-graduation. Now, the first thing, I have them, the 4 things as P's. And the first P, I've tagged plan. Plan. You definitely have heard a lot of things about this already, but I have a different twist to it. So yes, plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, have a plan, write it down, goal statements. Great, I agree to all of that. And if you're still questioning the idea of having a plan, say, hey, I have different ideas or different thoughts or different options, this is how I suggest you go about it. Really simple. Now, first thing, know that your plan will evolve. Whatever plan you make today about your life after graduation, in a few years, it will evolve, it will change, and that's okay. But you won't, because you know that your life will evolve or change, decide not to plan today. If you do that, you'll be like someone who is walking on the road and a friend stops him to ask him, hey, how far? Where are you going? And the person looks clueless and says, I don't know. I just did go. That would be rather weird. And you go again and say, no, like where, which way, okay, which side? I don't know. Now, that's what you would sound like or be like if you decide to go ahead with no plan just because you fear that your plans can change. So it's okay from where you are now, from what you can see, from what you know now. What will be an ideal next step? What do you see? What do you want for your life? Very critical question. Many people know what they don't want. Well, ask them, what do you want? It becomes a bit tough. So be aware. Keep engaging your mind and keep asking yourself, what do I want? And start from there to make your plans. What do I want? What would be an ideal career life, work life, entrepreneurial life for me? How do I envisage, or what would I like to see in my future going from here? And from what you can see now, make a plan. Like I said, it's okay, that plan will evolve, but you should have a plan. Now, this is my twist to the idea of a plan. Plans are great, but you must know how to submit your plan to God. I say that your best hack to succeed in life is to follow God. I say this now and I say it boldly because I've come to appreciate it the more on my own journey. This is why that is important. There are many things about yourself you don't even know yet. Whereas there's a God who made you and wired you. He wired you and prepared you for a work, for a path to walk in. And that's why I really like the scripture Ephesians 2:10. Allow me to read that to you. In NIV translation, it says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." So think about like someone from a royal family, very, very rich, wealthy royal family. Now, it's almost impossible for that person, a child from that kind of home, to have no idea what lies in their future. By being born into a royal family, there are some things that are sure about your future. Or think about a very wealthy businessman as well. Similarly, their children kind of have their future already prearranged, sometimes even to the details of who they marry. I'm not saying that's right or anything, but what I'm saying is, it's the same way you as a child of God, the God you have, the Father you have, created you and wired you for a path to walk in or to walk on. And that path you will discover as you walk with him. He will unveil it to you step by step, day by day. And that's why your most important life hack is to follow God. Some people say follow your passion. The challenge I have with that is your passions also evolve. So that's why some people begin to feel confused when they feel like, I thought I was passionate about X. All of a sudden, I don't feel so passionate about it. And they start to beat themselves up. When you walk with God, you understand that life is in seasons and in phases. He gives us the assignments per time. He gives us clarity. Everything unfolds in God. And that's probably why a good scripture to mention here is Proverbs 3:5 that says that we should trust in the Lord with all our hearts. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So plan, but submit your plans to God, and your greatest success hack as you leave school. Follow God. Follow person way no road. God knows the way. He knows because he prearranged everything. Now let's go to point number 2, and that's the second P. People. People. I like to say that people are the gatekeepers of opportunity. People are the gatekeepers of opportunities. And why do I say this? I give you an example. So because of the kind of work I do, I relate with business owners, MDs, CEOs, top C-suite executives very frequently. And I often get this said to me a lot. Christina, I'm trying to fill XYZ role. Do you have any referral? Christina, do you know somebody that I can hire for this role? Then on the other end, I'm interacting with young professionals or young people who are trying to get employed. And they're saying things like, there are no jobs. There are just no jobs in this country. So one time I sat and I asked myself, what is the mismatch here? And one of the answers I figured for that is relationships. The thing is that people would always prefer to hire someone that has been referred to them, someone who has been suggested to them by someone they already know and they can trust. The reason for that is they know that if you are someone of integrity, you're very likely to refer someone of integrity. So that means that there is a gap with relationships. If you don't know the people who know the opportunities, you can't access them. So this is not a case of, go around just only trying to connect with people for the benefit of what they can give you. But the thing is, you never know who can connect you. So be intentional as you leave school. Right now, very likely the people in your association are people who you have a common past with. And my mentor will say that friends with a common past is good, but friends with a common future is even better. So what this means is going from here, your friendship and your association should not only be about people you knew in school or from primary school or whatever in your past. Also begin to connect with people who look like where you're going, who have something that you see yourself desiring for your future. Connect to people above you. And how do you do this? Through volunteering opportunities. As simple as being an active solution provider or problem solver at church, someone who is valuable. You can get into interactions with older people who say, hey, what are you doing now? What's going on in your life now? I personally lived in a house in Lekki for free for 3 years. And that's because I served in the church at a time where the couple who owned this house also served, and they came to know me as someone who really proved myself to be really responsible. So when I moved to Lagos and I needed a place to stay, they were so happy to let me have their place at no charge. Imagine what that would have cost me in Naira. But again, relationships got me that. So be intentional about building your association. Join viable communities. Don't be a loner. Don't walk alone. Do not walk alone. Right? And I hope that helps you. The other thing I'll say about people is also when we talk about networking, a lot of people are always thinking about those who are above them. But also be intentional about building good relationships and creating great impressions with your peers and those who you are seemingly better than. So those people that are often neglected, those people who don't look so important, well, some gatekeepers of opportunities are very, very unassuming. They don't look like it. Be kind, be respectful, have regard for people, especially those who are older amongst them. But please, on a general note, treat everyone right. Treat everyone right and be kind. You never know. You just never know who they are. The next P I'd like to speak about is problems. Problems, yes. Someone's like, Christina, I already have a lot of problems in my life. Why are you trying to talk about problems again? Well, this is where I'm going with that. If you want to be a person of value post-graduation, you need to be someone who is comfortable with problems. And by problems, I mean problem solving. The world is going to pay you for the solutions that you offer. So I give you examples. Don't only think about your gifts, abilities, skills, talents in the context of what you can do. Think about them in the context of what problems they solve. Once you're able to think about them like that, you're able to position yourself as a person of value. So a few examples. You know how to do graphic designs. You're gifted or good or skilled at that. Well, that's what you do. But the problem, or rather the solution you offer with that, is that you help people who have strong messages project their message with nice designs. You like to cook, you enjoy cooking, and you're actively considering doing something around cooking. Well, it's not just that you can cook, it's that you can solve problems. The problem for some that is cooking, the problem of I want to use my time for something else, I don't want to cook, and you come in, provide that skill and help them solve that problem. So think about your skills, talents, abilities, whatever you have, think about them in the context of problems that you can solve. All right. And when you do that, you're able to, even when you sit in an interview, project value very easily because you're speaking the language of the people who are interviewing you. Solutions. When we think about our career, our jobs and all that, we often think about what we want to get. But there's something you must give to be able to get. And what you must give is solutions. Be a solution-oriented person. A lot of people, for example, talk about the problems of Nigeria and everything. But the world respects, honors, stands up for those who come out with solutions. Please be solution-oriented and you'll be perceived as a person of value in the life after school. The final P I'll speak about is what I've tagged P.D.A. Now, P.D.A. in this case is not public display of affection. No, of course not. P.D.A. in this case is personal development and advancement. That's the full meaning of the acronym P.D.A. in this context. And what that simply means is commit your life to continuous learning. Now, I know how it feels. School is over. Finally, I take a break. I'm not doing anything again. I'm not doing anything again and all. But hey, if you're going to get ahead in the workplace, in entrepreneurship, in life, you must commit to being a continuous learner. The difference is that sometimes there will be no exam. But please commit to learning. Be very, 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 very intentional about being a continuous learner because the world is so fast-paced now and the skills, the things you know now can be obsolete in a few months or a year. Now, how to plot a graph for how you learn or how to be intentional about your learning starts with understanding where you're going or having an idea of where you're going so that you begin to decide from there Who are the people? Who are the people who are doing great things already in the space that I'm trying to break into or get into? What do they know? What kind of courses have they taken? What are they learning? And then go ahead and mirror that. You don't have to copy that verbatim, but it gives you an idea of some of the things that you should begin to learn so that you can also get ahead, right? Now, this is another thing I'll say. Have a budget for your learning. Have a budget for self-development. Commit a percentage of your income, your monthly income, once you begin to earn, to growing. Initially, that amount may be as small as 2,000, 3,000 naira, for example, maybe. But even that can be used to buy a book that can add great value to your knowledge bank in your space. One of the reasons why you must commit to continuous learning is that the people who earn the highest are the experts in any industry. And what separates the experts from the other professionals is what they know, their knowledge bank. So be a continuous learner. The learning is not over. I'm sorry if that broke your heart a bit, but it's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, I've shared with you 4 P's today. First, plan. After that, we talked about people. After that, we talked about problems, be a solution provider, be a problem solver. And finally, I talked to you about P.D.A, personal development and advancement. Going from here, my basic mantra in life is whatever my hand finds to do, I must do well. I do this because I know that my work carries my brand on it. When someone sees something I've done and they say, Christina did this, I want to be bold enough to say, yes, I did it. Everything you do carries your brand on it. So living here, that basic mantra helps me to commit to whatever I'm doing in any season, whatever the size. It may just be serving in church. It may be volunteering with an orphanage. It may be working in an environment that I love to work or desire to work in. Whatever my hand finds to do, I do well as unto God. And living my life this way has helped me to get ahead in my career. It's one of the things that have distinguished me and has also helped me to be able to get really, really far on my journey. One of the highlights of also living your work life that way is that people keep the door open for you because everybody likes to work with somebody who puts their best on whatever they do or put their best in whatever they do. I hope you find these tips very useful. I'm so happy again that I got to share them with you, and I wish you all the best as you progress from here into the beautiful life that awaits you on the other side. Cheers.